Newsfirst Newsline with Faraz Shaukat Ali.
Good morning and a very warm welcome to Newsline, live from the Newsfirst studios in Dawson Street in Colombo. And joining me on, again, a wet morning is my colleague, political commentator, Bandula Jayasekara. Good morning, Bandula.
Good morning for us.
How are you doing?
Warm welcome, on a wet morning.
Indeed. We've also had a slight technical difficulty because one of our guests has been unable to get here on time.
Maybe he needs a boat.
But we do have a guest.
Yes.
And I shall let you introduce the guest.
I would say Dr. Paba Paliyavadna, who works for Ministry of Health. I would say, I'm not going to say the technical jargon, but I would say she's the expert on epidemics. And everybody wants to listen to Dr. Paliyavadna at this moment.
Dr. Paliyavadna, I am delighted that you're on Newsline. Thank you for having joined us.
You're welcome.
How serious is the possibility of diseases, sicknesses caused as a direct result of the floods?
Yeah. Right now, okay, the present situation, if I let you know, so we don't see any outbreak or any epidemics of any disease, right?
Right.
So we see some cases of respiratory infection, viral fevers, cough and cold among those displaced people. But other than that, we have not come across any severe outbreaks of, for example, we used to have dengue, leptospirosis and things like that in the country. I mean, these were the present kind of illnesses that have been reported in the recent past. But right now, because of floods or after floods, we have not yet experienced any major outbreaks.
And
what should they do to prevent this?
Yeah, we have taken several measures to prevent outbreaks, especially in those populations. And in fact, we are talking about safe water and providing safe drinking water and other water. And also the food, whatever they take, properly prepared food. And then detecting illnesses early and treating them. So then it will prevent further spread of that particular illness. So, and also preventing certain diseases, for example, providing prophylactic treatment, vaccination, and things like that. So that's how we have been looking at the situation, and teams visiting these institutions and the places, and treating them early and preventing outbreaks. And also we have started mosquito control work, fly control work. So therefore we have been able to bring down the disease load, or the in fact we expected diarrheas, watery diarrheas, then typhoids. But anyway, fortunately we have been.
so is it more like that the stars are in the right place, or is it good medical planning here?
I think it's good medical planning. We started very early.
Right.
Yes. As soon as we hear about the floods and this displacement of people, our medical team, they were the first people to visit these places.
No, I met some people who affected by the floods, and there was this chap who'd spent much of the day in the water, and he was, and when he finally got to dry land, I think on a 3-story building or 2-story building, he developed a sort of a rash and lots of scratches and so on, and he told me that he had to use all sorts of things like Dettol and all that. Is it normal to get this sort of skin?
Yes, the skin rashes and skin infections have been reported because of these merged in this dirty water for a long time.
Right.
And in fact, we had few cases. I mean, that was the first problem that we detected. So they were complaining of skin diseases and things like that. So we have treated them. We use antifungal, antibacterial ointments to cure these infections. In fact, we have been able to treat them with adequate amount of all these ointments and the
I see.
What about the mobile health services, Baba?
Yes,
Carried out by the
I'm
Newsfirst?
happy because with that because I'm the one who was coordinating the Kalambu is sending medical teams, especially in Kolonnawa, and we have been doing quite a lot of work sending them in vehicles to the boats, and then the Navy took them to these places. In fact, and we had to struggle a lot, but we have been able to send 10-15 teams a day to one MOH area in one particular small location. So for Kaduvela, for example, we have been able to send another 10 teams. So likewise, we have been organizing with the teams from different hospitals and bringing them to the place where we were there at the MOH office, and then putting them onto boats. And so, we did a wonderful work.
Yeah.
And
Well done, well done.
As I want now see Doctor mentioned about Kolonnawa.
Yeah.
Now people are suffering because of this garbage dump.
Yes.
It's a severe problem there.
From time to time on our program, we do things slightly different, and we're joined by our next guest as well. We have slightly delayed because of a bit of activity outside our building, but we do things differently. So on this occasion, the thing that we're doing differently is we're going to get the guest to tell us who he is.
Okay, yes, thank you very much. I am Professor Asoka Pereira. I am from University of Moratuwa, Department of Civil Engineering.
I see.
So the other thing is I lived next to Kalani River for half of my life.
I see. So you can give us a first-hand.
And gone through floods, in life as a normal sort of event.
Is
And,
it? Has it been like that?
Not every year, every 10, we had major floods in 64, 66, 73 a moderate one, and then 89 a major one.
Yeah.
Like even bigger than this.
Yeah.
So then, my mother and my family, all of us lived almost more than 100 years next to the river.
Right.
So I can remember what my mother said
Yeah.
to us all these times, when a flood happens.
So it's been a regular feature of life of living by the river bank.
Yes, I think because this side of Kalani River is prone to flooding.
Right.
The thing is, it didn't happen for some time. After 89, we didn't experience a flood like this.
Right.
And then, for example, if you look at the history, 1948 was the major flood.
Right.
Then the 60s, 2 floods, 73 moderate one, 89.
But Asoka, now there is land filling. So Preston has said you should stop that completely.
Exactly.
What can you say about that? So that's one major problem.
There are a couple of reasons for this flooding. Reason number one is rain. Without rain you will not get flood. No, exceptionally high rain. Then the second reason is this unauthorized construction. Because actually now the problem is when river overflows, particularly Kalani and any other river, it forms another parallel rivers. You see, the thing is, for example, if you take Kaduvela to Nagalam Street, Kalani River overflows, particularly in couple of places first. Like if you take Ambatale downwards, there is a place called Focus Gahamula, and then Kohilawata Junction next to the cemetery, and then it's the downstream near this Kalani Bridge. So then river forms another secondary river, and then what happens is the flood gets controlled. But now we have raised those roads. We have done a lot of unauthorized or rather authorized construction, I would say, because they had planning approval. And now the flood water level of that side is high.
Right.
So I can remember when I was small, like so-called Hattapa 175 road there's a particular place where the river forms.
Right.
Now that place is raised, and then there are buildings.
Yeah.
So now what happened is the net effect is you get a higher water level in all these areas, Kalnimulla, Ambatale, and up to Kaduvela.
Right. I see.
Baba, sorry. First, now we are talking of the Kalambu situation. What about the health hazards in places like Aranayaka? Even in Miriabad, the people are still trying to recover.
Yeah.
But what's happening in Aranayaka?
Yes, again in Aranayaka, the situation is the same. Like we don't have any major outbreaks reported, but again they also had skin issues and other common illnesses like coughs and cold that we have been treating. One food poisoning has been reported. 14 people have been affected and they've been treated in the hospital and they've recovered. I mean, it was a mild kind of a food poisoning. So that is again due to, we realized that it could have been due to some, food that had been cooked little some time ago, and then that would have been the reason why they have got this food poisoning. Other than that, it has been quite all right, where we didn't have any major outbreaks reported. But they also are vulnerable for infection of any water related, like any diarrheas and other the diseases like typhoid and hepatitis. They also are at risk, but the situation right now is quite.
Also, Papa, she was explaining about these rats. This is what is concerning our people. If you could tell our viewers.
Colombo, we are worried about this leptospirosis. So because
what's that?
Rat's urine, water can get contaminated with rat's urine, and that is infective. So that excretes it is called spirochetes, which can go through skin, especially in soggy skin and abrated skin. So these creatures can go in and cause this illness called leptospirosis. The Colombo people are at more risk, I would say, but even in Aranayak also they can get exposed to leptospirosis.
And how do you treat that?
Yes, we can prevent that. We give doxycycline prophylactic treatment, that is an antibiotic. We give 2 tablets of doxycycline per week. Right? That is enough to prevent this illness. So that has been already issued in all districts, even in Aranayaka.
Is it a good thing? Can the public just go to a pharmacy and buy it over the counter?
They can buy over the counter as well.
Right.
But it could be, we are giving it by the PHIs and the MOHs, so it's readily available. And for those who have affected, in fact we have gone to them and we have now already given to them.
On that note, we're going to take a short commercial break and we'll be right back. Do stay tuned to Newsline.
Newsfirst Newsline with Faraz Shaukatali.
Good morning again and welcome back to Newsline, where we're joined by Professor Asoka Pereira and
Dr. Paba Paliyavadana.
Well done, Bandana.
And Faraz Shaukatali.
Indeed. Now we're talking about the possibility of disease and the health aspect of the extreme weather conditions that unfortunately our country has been afflicted with.
And Faraz, I also must remind the viewers that we Sirasa had Sirasa Sakshi had Sahana Yatra. Now from this week we will start the Suwa Yatra, the health camps.
Right.
That will start from Kalaniya temple. It has been announced on our channels, called Suwa Yatra.
But Bandula, sorry, with the indulgence of our guest, isn't it absolutely amazing that this group has got so involved in with the public?
And so that's why this is known as, this channel is known as People's Channel.
The People's Channel. I don't know, but I mean, shall we do this? How proud are you to be working on this channel?
Very.
This much?
And when I said
This
very,
much.
like a kid, you want me to say like this
That's
much.
right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well done. We are proud. And long.
Proud to yourself.
Pardon?
And we are starting from Kalaniya. I'm sure Dr. Paliyavadana would, help us with the
that's
GMO
excellent.
and all are getting involved.
But I also want to, I mean, this is not an old topic, but when you consider what happened to our group in 1983 for daring to be independent,
Daring to be different.
and daring to be different, we were reduced to rubble. And this group is now what it is ever since 1983. And we continue to be different and have the courage to be that. In the meantime, we've shall we take the story very quickly? We have an interesting observation from Deputy Minister Iran Wickramaratne.
He should have been a minister.
He ought
cabinet
to have
minister,
been a minister, honestly. And he says that the former chairman and the CEO of Sri Lankan Airlines had no airline experience whatsoever. And no wonder that Sri Lankan Airlines has accumulated losses of 140 billion rupees, or 973 million, it says here, US dollars, on top of a massive liability of $950 million as at March 31st, 2016. I'm wondering, Deputy Minister Wickramaratne, whether the current chairman of Sri Lankan Airlines has got any aviation expertise. You know, what's sauce for the goose is sauce for the gander. So
What is he do? What's his expertise?
I don't know. I'm told that he knows how to sell coffee, but I don't know if he has any airline expertise. But honestly, it's a major problem. The public, majority of whom haven't even set foot on an airline, are being asked to pay time and time again to bail out this national airline. Do we need a national airline?
Not really.
We'll let's get an expert on the aviation industry on the program and let him explain to us. In the meantime,
And we should ask Papa whether how much money is spent on health services. Are you happy with the funding given to the health services?
I don't know exactly the total amounts. Of course, I had to go through.
Because it's important. You're holding an important position in the Ministry of Health.
I think it would have been better if, like, we had some more logistic. We had some logistic issues, right? So when it comes to a kind of a disaster, like, we need things to happen quickly, and then transportation, we had a problem of these things.
Ambulances and things.
No, not ambulances, the normal vehicles, right? So kind of things. And also now we wanted to we have already started, but these fogging, the mosquito control activity. So we need a couple of vehicles, the bigger vehicles for that kind of work. So we have the jeep mounted kind of fogging equipments, but these things need to be transported to these sites. So I think, but drugs and medicines, of course, have been adequate at this moment. Funding,
So that's time to close Sri Lankan Airlines and fund the health services.
Anyway, more funds is better.
but Doctor, judging from what you say, it appears that there's been no problem, and it's but that's not what some of these people tell us. They're concerned. They're very concerned about illnesses and so on. But you don't seem unduly concerned that there is a problem of any epidemic or whatever breaking out. Is that true? Is that right?
Yeah, the thing is, because
how many people have you treated?
Yeah, that's the thing. So when that's what I wanted to tell you. When we go to a camp, more than 50% of the people will be lined up for treatment for any kind of thing.
No, you're talking about these floods now.
Yes,
Right.
That's what I'm talking.
Yeah.
So when we go as a team to the medical team to the camps where their people were displaced, and for example, I would tell you, in Kolonnawa we had 34 displaced people were kept in 34 places. Could have either in a temple,
34 little camps or areas. Okay.
It could have been a school or a temple or wherever it is, right? So then once we used to send teams by boats for some places, and some places we could go by road, and 50% of the population would line up for treatment, but they didn't have any communicable diseases, for example, but they have come with minor illnesses. Even without illnesses, they have come to the doctor for tell their grievances and their problems and issues like that. So that is why I know about, and data being collected from each and every location by us at the center, and number of cases being treated, what were the cases, and whether there had been any cases of communicable disease. Then we know, like, there is an outbreak, we know definitely the number.
Or is it too early to celebrate this?
No, I'm not celebrating. I'm not celebrating.
Celebration that everything is fine.
Situation, maybe now we have been working for about 7 days or so. So for the last
but there are people there without food and without water. We, this company, this group, in partnership with others as well, we help to take water and food and so on. But it is a problem, isn't it?
That had been a problem at the beginning. Maybe
I
yes.
think it's not
Yes.
really
Yes.
organized.
Yes.
I had a chat with
Yeah.
those who got trapped yesterday, even next to Calendar River.
Yeah.
But they said this food and other things were fairly adequately supplied.
Right.
It's now the recovery.
Yeah,
That's
even
why the health
camp,
services
yeah.
are crucial.
Lunch camp, even when they said, when we asked what sort of help you want, they said no, food is not a major problem. But there can be isolated pockets where you know there may be issues like that.
No, Doctor, I also want to ask you, the help and your programs that you do through your ministry, are they equitably distributed across the country?
Your health, of course, that is the way that we do. It's been equitably distributed because we use the available staff. We get the services of the available staff, and then additional staff has been deployed from other districts where the flood is not a problem. So it has been, because every district has a infrastructure where the regional director is taking care of the district. So then that is happening in all over the country. Health infrastructure is very strong. So whatever it happens, it is to give the information and then to activate the system. So that has been there for last so many years. The disaster preparedness has been a subject of us that we have been working on.
Can we be more prepared?
Of course, there is no end for preparedness. Like for example, like if
Do we have enough money? How much of budget does your ministry have?
I don't know about the total budget.
Right.
You mean the health budget? Oh, I'm sorry, it doesn't come to my mind straight away. But I know
What about
it.
for disaster preparedness?
Yeah, you can have more and more money. For example, suppose
Do you all have enough medicines? when
right
this
now we
happened?
have. Right now we have.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
But we can have more. We can have more. We can have. I told you about the things like
Vehicles and,
transportation, staff. Then money is needed for equipments and paying for
sorry,
staff.
Doctor, what's your direct role in the ministry? What is your direct role?
My direct control of communicable diseases,
Right.
outbreaks,
So this is her time.
and immunization
She's in charge of that.
Right.
and the national immunization program.
Right. And how is this immunization program doing?
Very
good?
well, very well. It is one of the best programs in the world.
And I'm trying to find out whether you're reaching the forgotten people that we call the forgotten people
Yeah.
of the country. How about in the former conflict areas? Have you done enough of immunization programs there?
Yes, I have no forgotten areas or unreached areas in this country. I can reach anywhere.
Bravo.
In fact, I have reached, and immunization coverage at any place is above 99%.
Do you work closely with the WHO?
Yes. Yes, of
Are they very helpful to Sri Lanka?
yes. Yeah. UNICEF and WHO.
Did you work with the one-time former Minister of Health?
Yes.
He's now the President.
Yeah.
You have. Was he good Minister of Health?
Of course. We had all were very good ministers.
Well, I suppose it's the doctors to make a politically correct answer.
Yeah, she's been very
Can I come back to
diplomatic.
this flood? But I
Yes, please do.
point.
Yes.
The other point is except construction of the flood area,
Yeah.
there is a flood wave coming as well. In 1989 it happened.
Right.
We have upstream of Kalani River, we have two major reservoirs, that is Mausakele and Kasandri,
Yeah.
and there are spills
Yeah.
on these things. So now it's a practice, you erect a temporary structure and hold additional water.
Right.
So it's a good thing, you generate more electricity. So it's a sort of a calculated thing. What happened is it's out of timber or sometimes steel. It gives way when the flood wave comes.
Right.
So in 1989 it happened. I'm not 100% sure this time. But characteristics of the flood happened last week.
Right.
Confirms that that happened this time as well. So that would add about critical 1 to 2 feet of flood water to these areas.
I see.
So that makes a big difference.
Indeed.
So what happened is when there is a flood in these regions, and then you get an additional flood wave coming. That takes about 50 hours maximum, or 30 to 50 hours time to reach Colombo. What I sad about is, if that happened this time, it was not warned this time. It was a general warning that flood is coming, but 89 people knew in Kuhilawat and that area. My mother, my brother, they knew. So and then what happened is, when that happened, it's a sudden rise. It's very unusual for Kalani River to rise like that.
We're coming to the last few seconds of our program. So, you happy, or happy as can be? You confident that everything is being done to?
Yeah, I think even when I visited last evening as well to those areas, yes,
things are getting better.
Getting better, and as well as many areas, including health, I think they are looked after. So I think government also doing what it's possible.
Right. Thank you very much, Asoko Pereira, for being on our program, and Dr. Prabha Wardana, and Madhu Jayasekara. Thank you very much. Thank you for having watched Newsline. Do take care during these extreme weather conditions, and have a great day. God bless.
Newsfirst Newsline with Faraz Shaukat Ali.